The man prepares to conquer an island overrun by wild boars. He wants to earn the title of Boar Warrior. This is a deserted island in Hawaii. Rugged mountain trails, dense jungles, and aggressive wild boars have made it a forbidden zone for tourists. Survival experts Cody and Joe are about to conquer this place. They need to find randomly placed backpacks prepared by the production team. Inside one backpack, a mosquito net, a bright vest, a hunting candle, and a broken lighter. They begin their journey. They head downhill. There are no trails here. They can only push through the thick jungle, sometimes crawling on all fours, sometimes rock climbing, hacking their way through obstacles. Eventually they get lost. Joe decides to climb a tree to scout their direction. He spots the ocean. The two continue onward. Joe finds something valuable in the bushes, a broken spear, a weapon local hunters use against boars. He removes the cloth wrapping, cushions it with moss, and puts it in his backpack. The path ahead opens up. They discover a natural shelter that only needs minor modifications. Cody goes to gather branches, while suggesting Joe look for fresh water. Joe argues weapon making is more important. Since wild boars are everywhere here, without proper weapons, they can't defend themselves. After some arguing, Joe focuses on making weapons, while Cody handles shelter and water. Joe finds a strawberry guava tree with exceptionally hard wood. He cuts a roughly 1.8-meter branch and attaches the spearhead to make a lance. Meanwhile, Cody explores the woods. He finds tulip poplar flowers, any 12 poplar, natural containers that collect rainwater, but now they're empty, indicating no recent rain. The moss he checks is completely dry. Finding water seems impossible. Then he spots gourds, perfect for their needs. He cuts off the tops, hollows them out, strips bark from hibiscus trees to weave into ropes, and assembles water containers. Now they just need water. Joe also uses hibiscus bark, said, remarkably tough, hard to tear by brute force. He uses the ropes to secure the spearhead, and his weapon is complete. Two men join forces against the wilderness, one wielding the sky-piercing spear, one carrying the chaos gourd. They march to conquer the Boar Kingdom. This is an island shrouded in dark clouds, where few humans escape unharmed. Night falls. The two fall asleep. Dawn comes without rain. They must find water quickly. They set out again. The rugged trails trouble barefoot Cody, but his 20 years of training prove useful. His feet can sense nature's clues. The ground feels damp. Sure enough, there's a river ahead. Unfortunately, the water isn't drinkable yet. It needs purification. They follow the river downstream. Ahead, they see signs of past floods and scattered trash. Joe picks up some wire mesh. Cody finds a boar's jawbone. Its sharp tusks look terrifying. Wild boars are deadly creatures, true apex predators. Fortunately, our duo carries special gear, giving them courage to go deeper. After walking further, the path ends abruptly. Cody scouts around and finds a detour down the side. They make it down safely. Soon after, Cody spots bamboo groves to their left. Bamboo usually contains water, just split it open to drink. But after cutting several stalks, not a single drop appears. This land truly lives under the boar's shadow. Joe selects a thick bamboo stalk, cuts it into sections, drills holes in them, and uses them as water containers in the river. Next comes fire making. Cody finds a relatively dry bamboo stalk. He and Joe work together to create friction. They start slowly, then increase speed, still not fast enough, so they accelerate further, arms working furiously, until smoke appears. They transfer it to the tinder nest, blow gently, and succeed in making fire. They place bamboo tubes over the flames. Soon the water boils, ready to drink, infused with bamboo's refreshing aroma. Now Joe prepares for his ultimate test. A confrontation with the island's ruler, NETI, ends. The Boar King. Joe grips his spear tightly. As he moves cautiously through the woods, eyes scanning everywhere, he spots a tree with boar rub marks, and two parallel grooves left by tusks, signs of a mature male boar. Exactly the prey he seeks. The Boar King won't be easy to deal with. Joe must find an advantageous position to ambush. Below this cliff lies a narrow path, clearly the Boar King's regular patrol route. Joe takes out the wire mesh, ties it between two trees, creating a trap. Meanwhile, Cody prepares char cloth. Hand drilling fire is difficult, so he plans ahead. Taking the candle holder, he dries it over flames, then tears his headscarf, cuts a small opening atop the holder, inserts cotton cloth and seals it, but leaves the indentation exposed. He burns the holder over fire. The smoldering cloth produces smoke. When smoke stops, he seals it to cut off oxygen. The charred cloth ignites easily when reheated. Now the broken lighter becomes useful. The char cloth catches fire effortlessly. Joe makes final preparations. The Boar King has a cute smell. He covers himself with mud, masks his scent with boar droppings, then hides behind rocks, waiting silently. After long anticipation, the Boar King arrives on patrol. Immediately it senses danger. The air reeks of killing intent, but the bold boar ignores the warning. Suddenly, its hind leg gets caught in the trap. Joe bursts forward, charging with his spear, but freezes momentarily, under the boar's overwhelming presence. With a battle cry, Joe thrusts the spear with full force. The Boar King collapses. Joe carries the trophy back to camp. Soon it becomes aromatic skewers, their fragrance spreading for miles. Cody takes one bite. It's transcendental. Never has he tasted such delicious pork, almost biting his own tongue in excitement. They feast voraciously. Next day, they follow the river downstream, their bodies still carrying the Boar King's scent. No animal dares approach. Finally, they reach the coast, but the location is unfavorable, hard to spot from outside. Stay calm, though. A plane appears unexpectedly. They're miraculously rescued. This man is a top survival expert. He grinds special beans into powder, mixes with water to make cakes, savoring nature's bounty. Experts, Cody and Joe are now stranded in Chile's Atacama desert, LIS, utterly desolate, with unique terrain, high altitude, thin air, and extreme aridity. They inventory-provided equipment: a paraglider, a helmet, a multi-tool, an altimeter reading 4,420 meters, about 1 liter of water, a reserve parachute, a matchbox containing just one match. They salvage usable materials from the glider. But this little water won't sustain their desert crossing. Joe suggests searching for ice at higher elevation, the only potential water source nearby. Cody considers this insanity. Human bodies have limits. Higher altitude means greater breathing difficulty. After debate, Joe departs for water, while Cody builds shelter and makes fire. They'll reunite at that rock formation. Joe's no stranger to high-altitude missions, having served 10+ years in Afghanistan's mountains. But now he's struggling, showing altitude sickness symptoms. Cody reaches the rocks. Desert survival requires windproof shelters for frigid nights. He identifies wind direction, selects a leeward rock with a natural alcove, perfect for shelter. As sunset approaches, Cody climbs the rock, drapes the parachute as a windbreak. This stone wall works perfectly. A small fire will let the rock reflect warmth. He places the yellow helmet atop the rock to guide Joe. Meanwhile, Joe gasps for air, but spots snow. At 5,200 meters altitude, he works quickly, chops ice blocks, wraps them up, and begins his descent. Cody needs to start a fire. This plant is called yarita, resembling moss. These specimens are dead and burn fiercely. Cody gathers more wood, takes out the solitary match, and ignites the char cloth. Suddenly, Joe's shouts echo outside. He's returned before nightfall. Joe admires Cody's shelter craftsmanship. They melt snow in the helmet, yielding about 2 liters of water, enough for a proper drink. The night passes uneventfully. Next morning, the yareta still smolders. Perfect for preserving embers. Cody transfers the coals into the helmet. They begin their trek. At 4,000 meters elevation, the thin oxygen makes every step laborious. By noon, they enter sandstone terrain. Beyond lies pure desert, making this their final resource gathering zone. Joe wants to collect firewood, but Cody resists carrying the load. Having lived 23 years in deserts, he deems it unnecessary. After argument, Joe angrily shoulders the wood himself, yet Cody is considerate. Though disagreeing, he compromises for his partner, accepting some firewood. They descend further. The terrain grows steeper. Razor-sharp rocks challenge barefoot Cody. Navigating the canyon proves grueling. A deep pit appears ahead. Joe climbs down first. Cody tosses their packs down, then carefully descends. The path widens briefly, but soon confronts them. With a 12-meter cliff, they decide to fashion a rope ladder. From the parachute, spreading the canopy, they fold and twist it, securing with ropes. After anchoring it to a rock, they deploy the ladder vertically. Joe descends first. His climbing experience ensures smooth passage. Cody follows, using friction control to navigate the makeshift ladder. As sunset approaches, shelter becomes urgent. Joe squeezes through a crevice, discovering a perfect refuge. With only sky visible above, he summons Cody. Cody rekindles the yareta, while Joe portions their precious firewood ration, Tion, reserving it for the coldest hours. They huddle under the spare parachute, sharing body warmth through the night. Next morning, they exit the canyon, entering sun-scorched badlands. Water becomes critical. In this Mars-on-Earth landscape, pressing onward through barren wastes, the heat grows unbearable. Reaching another cliff, they sip their last water reserves. Descending a slope, They find shade to rest, until cooler evening. With water exhausted, Joe considers drinking urine. Cody warns about double sodium concentration and urea toxicity, LFX, strongly advising against it. But defiant Joe, prompted by prohibition, insists on trying. Moving forward, they discover an unbelievable sight. No Brockdown, a stream in the canyon below. Choosing the safest descent, they practically ski down through deep sand. Reaching the stream, they plunge faces first, gulping the sweet, revitalizing water. Gathering strength, Cody identifies pacai trees. Cody, their winter seeds resembling edible sweet beans. He collects some for Cody, who grinds them with stones, mixing with water into tasty cakes. Refreshed, they follow the stream until encountering llamas and a local woman. Salvation at last. A man is stranded on a barren island. The island lacks resources, and sharks patrol the surrounding waters. How should one survive? This is a rocky islet somewhere in the Pacific. Survival experts Cody and Joe will attempt this challenge. They locate the equipment provided by the production team, a pair of fins. Looking around, they find no other gear. This can't be right, Joe thinks. Without diving goggles, Joe prepares to dive into the murky water. Enduring eye irritation, he submerges himself, searching until he spots more equipment. First, he retrieves the oxygen tank. Cody waits anxiously ashore. Fortunately, Joe soon resurfaces. They move to shade to inspect their findings. The oxygen tank holds less than 1 hour of air, plus 4 rubber tubes, a snorkel, about 150 meters of rope, a weight belt, a diving mask, and a low-quality diving knife. Surveying the island, they climb to higher ground and spot a larger island behind theirs, better for finding fresh water and food. But with only one diving set, they'll need to build a flotation device. Cody gathers materials while Joe prepares the diving gear. Joe notices coconuts floating in the water and collects several washed ashore. Cody finds useful pandanus wood and vines. The vines prove particularly flexible. Channeling incredible strength, he hurls the pandanus wood down to Joe, then tosses the vines after it. Joe has gathered over 10 coconuts and begins construction. Using a long bamboo pole as the keel, Cody punctures the coconuts with the diving knife, strings them together with vines, and attaches this coconut necklace to the bamboo, creating functional pontoons. Joe crafts a spear for shark defense. Preparations complete, they set out. Cody clings to the float, while Joe, wearing the diving gear, tows them forward. Cody navigates. Joe provides propulsion. Lava, a perfect partnership. Soon they enter shark territory. Tiger sharks pose the greatest threat. These daring men actually swim through shark-infested waters. Fortunately, their expert survivalist aura and blood-stained equipment deter the sharks. They make landfall, exhausted, collapsing on the sand. Thirsty, they crack open coconuts. Cody meticulously pierces them with his knife, while Joe impatiently smashes one open. Life should be lived boldly. Joe scouts the area, finding a useless cave, but more coconuts and coconut trees. This island offers better resources. Cody prepares to make fire. Selecting a dead branch from a wishing tree, he readies his bow drill. Joe returns with coconuts. Cody uses coconut fibers as tinder. They begin working. Joe stabilizes while Cody saws. Smoke appears quickly, but no flame. The wood remains too damp. Then Joe spots a ship on the horizon. They must light this fire to signal for rescue. Redoubling efforts, Cody strains until the spindle flies out. They have their eye. Still no fire. The ship sails away. Frustration sets in. Next morning, Cody sun-dries the fire tools and tries again. This time, sparks emerge. Nestled in the tinder and blown gently, flames finally ignite. Joe searches for food, finding only rotten coconuts on the beach. Worse news arrives. Rain begins falling, and raging waves threaten their fire. Quick-thinking Joe weaves palm fronds into a rain shield, protecting their precious flames. Joe needs to make containers to collect rainwater. Using versatile bamboo, he channels rainwater into buoyancy compensators. Just as things improve, the tide rises. Waves lash like claws trying to extinguish their fire. Furious surf pounds the shore, threatening their flames. They build a sandbar barrier, topping it with stones, hoping to block the waves. But this is temporary. They decide to relocate. Joe recalls the cave he saw earlier. Cody transports embers in a coconut. They set out. En route, the coconut ignites. He hastily extinguishes it. Soon they reach the cave. Cody places the coconut down. Luckily, dry grass inside the cave helps reignite the embers when blown. Only smoke appears initially, no flames. Joe looks concerned. Finally, under Cody's careful tending, fire returns. But the cave hides them too well. They need distress signals. Joe climbs the cliff for visibility. The open terrain here makes an ideal signal site. He plans 3 vertical light-colored troughs to contrast sharply against dark rocks. Cutting grass, he binds bundles with rope, hanging them vertically. This treacherous work nearly ends disastrously. Joe slips suddenly, almost falling. Meanwhile, Cody improvises desalination, filling the oxygen tank with seawater, attaching tubes. He heats it over flames. Steam condenses into drinkable water. Soon droplets emerge. Cody tastes success. Returning, Joe spots a breadfruit tree, harvesting sticky sapped fruit. With a branch spear, he gathers several. Dawn brings waiting. Miraculously, a ship appears. Joe shouts for Cody, who creates smoke signals. Their combined shouts redirect the vessel. Salvation arrives. Scene transition. A frozen beaver awaits. 1905. Watch Cody's culinary skills. Now in snowbound Rockies, above 3,000 meters, where ice traps lurk everywhere. 2 stranded motorists, one left seeking help, and got lost. Survivalists, Cody and Joe, reenact this scenario. Cody shouts for Joe, disoriented. Climbing higher proves hard. Deep snow impedes movement. Snowshoe hair tracks inspire him. Their large hind feet enable swift travel. He breaks branches to craft snowshoes. Increasing surface area prevents sinking. Joe also calls for Cody, sounding the car horn 3 times. Universal distress signal. No response. Preparing a fire, he inventories the car. Manual, spare tire, jumper cables. Suddenly, eerie howls echo. A wolverine pack 100 meters away. Cody improvises. Cutting his scarf into strips, he lashes branches to his feet. With fabric bindings, snowwalking improves. Joe gathers tinder. Deadwood ignites easily. Arranging logs, he pops the hood, connecting jumper cables to spark ignition. Alpha, but needs a receiver. Ripping seat fabric, he punctures the fuel line, dripping gasoline onto cloth. The spark fails initially. Persistent attempts finally ignite flames. For black smoke, he adds the tire and pine boughs. Thick plumes rise. Cody spots the signal, struggling toward it. His snowshoes malfunction, nearly tripping him. Abandoning them, he trudges forward. Reunited at last, they prepare to overnight here. Night falls. The temperature here drops to negative 34 degrees Celsius. Without heating equipment, the human core temperature can fall below 35 degrees Celsius, leading to fatal hypothermia. Cody tears fabric from the car roof and attaches it to the inner windows. Joe fills a container with snow and places it near the fire to melt naturally. Soon they obtain water. It tastes like tobacco, but at least they won't dehydrate. As sunset approaches, they squeeze into the car, cover themselves with blankets, and sleep sitting up. Next morning brings bitter cold. Cody gathers more firewood. Joe discovers the car won't start. They plan to scout the area, but shouldn't wander far. The vehicle remains their most visible rescue marker. They need temporary shelter. Without it, the snow will kill them. Joe makes a discovery, what appears to be an old mine entrance. In the late 1800s, thousands mined these Rockies, leaving abandoned shafts everywhere. He finds rusted cans and an outhouse, peculiarly designed, containing only wood, but at least its structure. If they overcome the disgust of sleeping in a toilet, they gain shelter. Returning to the car, they salvage materials. Wires become ropes. Seat foam provides insulation. Anything useful gets taken. Finally, they remove the hood as a sled. Cody pulls while Joe pushes, laboring toward the outhouse. They prepare to dismantle it carefully. Controlled demolition prevents collapse. Native North Americans used snow insulation in Quingy shelters. Now Cody and Joe repurpose a toilet, building a snow berm behind it, sealing gaps with car parts, transforming it into shelter. They line the interior with foam padding to prevent snowmelt, and seat cushions, creating a cozy nest. Joe seals roof cracks to trap warmth. Proud of their ingenuity, they collect more firewood. Joe retrieves embers, easily restarting flames. But rescue signals remain critical. Their survival depends on being spotted. An open area seems ideal for signaling. Nearby, a possible beaver lodge marks a frozen pond. Falling through the ice would be deadly. Cody probes ahead with a stick, advancing cautiously. Hearing running water under snow, he digs to confirm. Calling Joe for backup, he prepares to stomp an X-shaped signal. Night. Each step risks plunging through ice. Successfully completing the marker, they cover it with pine branches for better visibility. Gathering emergency firewood, Cody spots something in the snow. A large, dead beaver. Examining its eyes, they estimate death within 24 hours. Carrying their prize back, they target the prized tail. Frozen solid, Joe hacks repeatedly with his knife. Before severing it, roasted over flames, The tail initially looks appetizing, until Joe's first bite reveals an indescribable foulness. While Joe gags, Cody devours his portion with relish. The night passes without incident. The next day, the beaver has thawed. They cut thigh meat to taste. Cody is making a red flag. Suddenly, they hear aircraft engines. Both start running toward the pond. Upon arrival, they spot a plane. Finally rescued. Scene transition. Finding a dead cow in the desert. How to utilize resources? New Mexico's Chihuahuan Desert features jagged peaks, arid hills, and salt flats. Beyond desert hazards, 15,000 abandoned mines pose man-made dangers for prospectors. Survivalists Cody and Joe take this challenge. Joe's trapped 20 meters down a mine shaft, calling for Cody's help. The ancient mines, wooden ladders are unstable, perched on a beam, 3 meters above water. Time is running out. Cody searches and finds fencing wire. He retrieves it but needs handholds to prevent cuts. Discovering 2 metal rods nearby, he attaches them to the wire's ends, lowering one end carefully. Joe secures it around himself. Cody pulls taut as Joe climbs, maintaining constant tension. Nearing the top, rotten wood threatens collapse, but Cody's support prevails. Rescue complete, but survival continues. Inventorying their pack, a pickaxe, a Fresnel lens for fire starting, and a headlamp. Resting in shade, they plan. Cody builds shelter. Joe searches mines for water. Several prove dry. Cody gathers planks cautiously, watching for rattlesnakes and scorpions. Joe finds a flooded shaft. Improvising with the wire and a metal scrap as a bucket, he weights his pack with rocks, lowers it rapidly, then hauls up water. Cody discovers glass bottles and crafts yucca fiber stoppers. C-needing-B. Perfect fit. The yucca, used for centuries by Apache tribes, now serves modern survival. Joe pours water into containers, noting larvae contamination, noting today, boiling required. They split tasks. Joe gathers firewood. Cody collects tinder, finding dried grass, and a bird's cactus fiber nest. With gratitude, he appropriates the nest. Darkening clouds complicate firemaking. Using the Fresnel lens with fading sunlight, Cody persists despite poor conditions. As Joe returns with wood, smoke appears. Adjusting the lens angle, Cody nurtures the ember. Gentle breaths finally produce flame. Purified water tastes extraordinarily good after prolonged thirst. Next morning, they scout from high ground, spotting dark shapes on a dry riverbed. Investigating reveals a long dead cow. Cody analyzes. Bones become tools. Marrow provides food. Hide makes sandals. Removing obstructive ribs, he cuts clean rawhide. Joe approaches another carcass. Overpowering stench of flies and maggots. Yet the hide shelters, horns prove useful. Joe pokes at the carcass a few times. The stench is unbearable. He calls Cody for assistance. Joe wants Cody to hold the cow's legs, or help flip it over. But Cody thinks the decomposition is too advanced, better to abandon it. However, Joe is stubborn. Even alone, he persists. Using his knife, he begins skinning, a gruesome process. Meanwhile, Cody smooths rawhide with stones and gathers yucca leaves. Peeling them into hair-thin fibers, he reverse braids them into cordage. After punching holes in the hide, he threads the cords through, crafting sturdy sandals. Joe continues skinning, the smell indescribable, the visuals worse. Being tough as nails, he finally removes a hide section. After recovering from nausea, he harvests horns too, wrapping the spoils in yucca leaves. Joe carries them onward. Intensifying heat makes water critical. Joe spots a cottonwood ahead, possible water source. Approaching it, they feel immediate cooling. This oddly shaped giant tree shows human traces. Joe scouts the area, finding a vehicle mirror, IDS, perfect signaling device, and a dried water trough. Suddenly he yells, jumping back. Prying up metal sheets, he reveals a rattlesnake. Strangely excited, Joe calls Cody over. Using a long stick to pin it, he severs its head with one cut. They bury the remains to prevent accidental bites. Cody searches for water, discovering damp soil in a depression. Digging yields seepage. He collects some, returning to find snake meat roasting, delicious protein boost. Next morning, Cody repurposes the mirror into a precision signal device. Splitting it diagonally, he scratches crosshairs on the back. Aligning both pieces' crosshairs enables distant viewing and targeted light flashes. Crossing salt flats, their feet burn on scorched earth. Movement appears in the distance. Using his improvised telescope, Cody signals successfully. The approaching vehicle means rescue.